Okay, how we doing out there? First things first, my name is Kenneth Bird. I'm the creator of Supreme Ambient Light Rejection Screen Paint using Ambient Light Rejection technology gain. Y'all know that we have developed a gray screen paint under the front and rear black silver technology, which is the screen right there in the center right there. That's that black silver Ambient Light Rejection 12. Now keep in mind this technology was mainly sourced to be developed for rear projection, not front projection. It's an incredible front projection screen. As you've seen by the demonstrations, I was able to put it up against high performance screens. It was able to produce higher contrast, darker contrast levels. It was able to produce better colors. The gain capability of that screen, being able to produce images outside using a Sony CS4, VPL CS4 projector at 1,000 lumens, around 12 to 13 feet back. So a gray screen is pretty remarkable compared to any gray screen out there on the market. But as I told you time and time again, that black technology is the best. And the reason why is because gray screens, no matter how good the gray screen is on this technology, even though it has the ability to pull a very high contrast level, better than these high-end screens, it's still no match for a black screen. Black screens are going to pull 100% contrast. And anybody who's a gamer knows that you have to have those deep dark contrast levels for gaming. If you look at computer monitors today, they're not gray. They used to be gray back in the day. Computer monitors, LCD monitors, whatever kind of monitor, they're jet black. And there's a reason why they're jet black, because to pull out them contrast levels, you get a much more richer, deeper, darker image. But also too, when those contrast levels hit, you'll be able to see that true black contrast. Now, even though the contrast level on this technology is extremely good, as I said before, I'm used to looking at black screens all day. So I can see for myself, I can see where this screen is not going to be able to give me what I want, especially from those crispy projectors coming in. I'm not going to get that black level that I need from the screen. I need 100% in order for me to be happy. So upstairs, that's going to be repainted over to black because, like I said, it's the best way to go. Got these new gaming systems coming out. Do you have any idea what my PS5 is going to look like on a black screen? Oh man, it's going to look insane on a black screen. That's why I cannot wait to get my hands on the system. Apparently, these suckers are sold out everywhere, which, like I said, that's another story in its own for another topic. I just don't understand how you go through this stuff. Like every time you launch a system, you don't learn just to make a whole bunch of them so everybody can get their hands on them. And especially with the way where companies are not making enough money, this would be the opportunity to make sure you have enough so you can keep your company afloat. But you know, whatever, that's another story on its own. Whatever. But anyway, what we're gonna do is I'm gonna unblock my projector first. Let me throw on some gear. So I thought, if I'm gonna do this demonstration, it wouldn't be fair just to have my screen up there and that's it. I put my screen and I put several high performance screens up there. We have the Cinema Gray 5D, we have the Dark Star 9, and on the far end we have the Paxton, which is a very dark gray screen by daylight. So I think that's a fair demonstration. And as you can see, when it comes to the 12, with the 12 sell like crazy. As you can see, when it comes to the 12, it's the 12 is much darker than all those. Of course, you can all see that. But like I said, as a gamer and designing that gaming room upstairs, those screens have to be black. They have to be. You're buying that PS4, Xbox One kind of gaming, your screen has to be black. Because you tell me the next time you walk into a store to buy anything for your computer or gaming or whatever, and your computer monitor is gray. They're not great computer monitors, are jet black. It's the reason why they have that OLED kind of design. Now, keep in mind, I said this before anybody sits there and says, well, you developed a gray screen. No, it was designed for rear projection technology. But it looks interesting on front projection. But still, even with the technology having the ability to be able to outperform, and if you don't believe me, I'll put those links. We did all the test demonstrations on it. I'll put them below so you can check them out for yourself. Able to perform at 12 to 13 feet and produce an image of Tron outside using a 1,000 lumen projector is quite incredible for a gray screen. But still, no matter how much we can advance a gray screen, it will never ever compete with black technology. And you're about to see that. And this is our technology here that we designed that we put on a next level higher than any other gray screen, but you will see it basically not be able to have the ability to be able to keep up to a black screen when it comes to contrast and color. All right, so let's get this ball rolling because I have a crazy day today. My Christie 505 comes in today, so finally get my hands on this machine. I've been trying to get my hands on the machine for the longest time. I finally got my hands on it. First things first, let's put on the got a bunch of videos here. Now we may get some political commercials in there from time to time because we usually get those in there, or some form of advertisement. It pops in there from time to time, so just to let you know that's going to happen. All right, so what we're showing right here, first thing I like to show is I like to show off the white screensaver. I'm not shy with showing white off on my screen. I like to do that a lot. So I want you to absorb that in. Look at the white levels. First thing someone's going to say is when they see these white levels, and I love this, is I want to get into your head. And remember, get into your head. I love it when people think that, okay, if his screen is producing such a dark image on a white level, that means brighter colors are going to come up lighter on the other screens, and it's going to come up darker on his. That's why I like to show the white levels first. All right? So, I keep bouncing back and forth, people, because I got it this morning, and I didn't put any of the phones on the chargers. None of them. So I was so tired last night, I literally forgot. All right, so now we're going to go to a straight blue screen. Now you would think, and I'll do this many times, you would think that when I show off those white levels, that the white screens or gray screens produce a much higher white level, right? And you would think because they produce a much higher white level that the images, colors would be much brighter. Not true. What happens is the fact that it's lacking that contrast level. Even though our technology has extremely good contrast levels, as you can see, it's not going to match black. Oh, no way. Let's go to red. This is what I mean by you're supposed to be seeing solid colors. This is how demonstrations are supposed to be done. If you put a lot of abstract colors on it, you can't tell what's what and what's changing and what's not changing. So it's better for me to put straight blues, straight greens, straight reds, so you can see for yourself. We're taking away all the abstract from it and just seeing the solid color itself. That's why I do these demonstrations like this. We're going to put on green. Yep, and we got a commercial. They're going to pop in. Remember, it's election time, so you're going to see them popping in and out. We're going to get a few commercials here and there. There we go. There's green. Now, if you notice, when you watch that Wawa's, if you notice, you saw the background with the Wawa's, the reds were faded. White levels were higher, but the reds were faded. All right. We're going to go with gray, right? Now, keep in mind, my screen's jet black, right? This is a gray technology we developed. All these screens are gray. So let's come over here, and we'll pull up a gray. Interesting that the black screen can pull a gray level knowing that it's black. I had somebody came in a long time ago and told me to do that, and I got to thank that customer because that was very interesting. I never thought about putting a black screen against a gray screen. All right, so from there we are going to go to a contrast demonstration. Now, when I was working with the technology with the gray screen, somebody came and said, oh, so now you're going to switch over to gray screens. I said, no, you don't understand. You don't know the power behind black technology. No. Do you have any idea how powerful these black screens are? The technology 12 we developed. This thing pulls amazing white levels, beautiful colors, and then on top of that, it has contrast, which is needed. It is a must for gaming. It's a must for movies. It's a must for sports. Anything and any application that shows any form of black level, contrast, black levels are required. And this is not to put down our own technology. As you've seen in our demonstration, our technology does pull better contrast levels than other screens. But next to a black screen, it cannot hold a candle. All right, we'll go over to some colorful flowers. This is all black level tests. Like I said, we're going to get our commercials are going to pop up. Now see how bright the yellows are on this my technology compared to these right there? Our technology we developed, it's good, but next to black technology, it's not going to pull. None of these screens will pull that black background. So the purpose of this demonstration, when you watch this black test, that background is supposed to be jet black, and all these colors are supposed to pop all around to bring out the color. Yeah, 6 o'clock. 6 o'clock, man. I'm up 6 o'clock today. Usually I was up around 2 and 3 o'clock, but that gaming room, man, I had to get that thing done. Then I had orders for the customers that had to be done. So right now I had to order new containers. My ink, my printer ran out of ink last night. I'm like, oh, great goodness. I had to do overnight shipping to get more ink in, because my ink, I can't print out any shipping labels. So that became a headache last night. So, with the orders stacking up and then the projects and everything, I just haven't been sleeping too much. So, I got to learn to take some time off, because yesterday I had a really bad anxiety attack triggered off, and I had to shut down. Like, okay, I got to start slowing things down a bit. I'm just pushing it too much. It's kind of interesting when you love what you do, but what you love what you do pretty much might kill you. But you love what you do, Even though I want to sit there and just relax sometimes, I can't. I just get back up and I got to get back to work. It's not because I have to work. It's because I enjoy what I do. I just want to see how far I'm going to get on this project. And I got to learn to tell myself, okay, you got to sit down, learn to relax, get some sleep, eat some food, But yeah. So this is why I'm showing you the different colors in the black technology. So if you notice, the background is always going to remain. So now look at this. Check out how high the yellow is on our. This is our silver technology. Told you our silver technology is different from any gray screen out there. Right there. I'm sorry if I'm not basically continuing this conversation. I have to stay focused on this right here. But I understand what you're talking about. I have a few friends. Actually, my brother's a mechanic. So as you can see right here, see the yellow level here on the gray screen, see how bright the silvers are compared to here and here. See right here? This is what I'm saying. Silver technology is good, but it can't produce that black level that's needed around the screen. That's what when last night I was doing I brought the PS4 upstairs and did a little gaming up on the other screen. I was like, it looks good and all, but when that contrast level came up, I can see it because I see black contrast all day. So I can see it. Everybody else, if you're not used to seeing black contrast levels on that level, you really don't see it too much. I see it because all my screens in the house are black, so I'm used to being around black screens. See, check that out in the living room. I love that right there. That is beautiful. That is beautiful to get up in the morning and have your screen surrounded by windows and be able to do that. It's a beautiful thing. All right, so let's switch over. And as you notice, the black screen is producing high bright colors. As I said before in the description of the black technology, white levels are going to be a tad low, but nothing that's going to disrupt your picture quality. But having that OLED, ever since I went into that store and I saw that black screen, that jet black screen by OLED, I was like, oh, I would love to be able to have technology and a projection screen on that level. And this is a 720p projector I'm using. This is no 1080p or 4K projector. This is basic 720p on this screen. Now look at the silver technology, because you have to appreciate the silver technology that we developed next to these gray high-end screens. But when it comes next to a black screen, it's not going to produce that contrast. So you're not going to see that black background just push through. So the silver is good if you're using like very low-end projectors. If you're using, it may work with some knockoffs. It may work with some knockoffs because it is a lighter screen. It is going to give you the contrast levels that you want. Yes, it is. Contrast levels you'll miss from other screens. It's going to be to produce images outside on projectors of low calibers, which we backed it up already. But the black technology is going to give you that 100% contrast, that punch that you need when it comes to gaming, especially if you're doing Modern Warfare. They got that Cold War coming up. Oh, yes, I'm definitely getting that. That Cold War, that's definitely going to happen. Got to play that on a black screen. Have to. Because I need those contrast levels to push through. I need to see the details and the weapons and the background and the debris. And I need to see that fire explode from the... Oh, yeah, I got to have the black screens on that. Now see anywhere that shows black, this is where the screens are not going to have, next to a black screen, they're not going to pick up so well. But if you notice the image on the silver. Now, like I said, those of you have been calling me about the Sunbeam ultra short throw projectors, yes, you can, this technology is good for that. If you have a low lumen projector and you want to go outside and use it, this technology is fantastic for that. If you want to do rear projection, that technology is good for that. If you want hardcore contrast levels, boom, black screens, that's what they're designed for. All right, so let's go over here and let's grab, let me see. We'll do the OLED with the fish. Chances are we might get a, well, we didn't get a commercial. Okay, cool, usually we get a commercial in there. So that's why when I did this demonstration, it was better for me to do the demonstration where I have my technology right here, but to have other higher performance sample sheets in there also. So you can see the difference between all the technologies together, not just mine and mine with other forms of high technology screens also. Because we have people out there that can afford $5,000 and $6,000, $7,000 for, oops, one's coming off. We got people that can afford a couple of $1,000s for a projection screen easily. They can easily afford that. But, you know, if I'm showing them, hey, look. Oh, okay, never mind. We're having some difficulties here. We'll have to do that one again. All right, everything is good. All right, make sure we're all good. We're good. Everybody good? We're good. We're good. We're good. Man, freaking temperamental with the sample sheets. Like, no, we're not going to stay up here. I'm going on break. Oof. But we have, like I said, I have customers that can easily afford a couple $1,000s for a screen, easily. But if they can save that money, they can say, okay, I don't have to spend $5,000 for this screen because I can just buy this screen or buy that screen or that screen. I have some customers that, look, and not to be rude, not to be disrespectful or anything, but I have some customers that, you know, it's a partner thing with you and your wife. And sometimes your wife might not want a black screen in the middle of her living room, which is kind of interesting because if you buy OLED, it's the same thing. You have a black screen literally in the middle of your living room. But some want to go with that traditional gray. So this is why this is here. So what we're going to do with the gray screen, we're going to change it a little bit. What I mean by change it a little bit, we have some customers, and I listen to my customers when they email me about how having this technology being sprayed on only, they feel intimidated by the paint sprayer. All right, I can understand that. First time I got a paint sprayer, scared the crap out of me, didn't know what I was doing, and I knew I was basically going to just jack up my screen, all my hard work, so it's going to go right down the drain, but it didn't happen that way. But anyway, so what we're going to do is going to make a roll-on version of the gray. Keep in mind, when we do this, it's not rear projection anymore, all right? That's canceled, that's gone. So we're going to have one roll-on and non-roll-on. The non-roll-on is going to be the original, which is this right here. For those of you that are more confident with a paint sprayer, bam, that's for you. And then we're going to make a roll-on version for those of you who basically who feel more comfortable with a roller. And on top of that could be the situation of the environment. Oh boy, this stuff does not want to stay, does it? Nothing wants to stay up here. Everything wants to just leave. But, you know, just to make it so, and I'm using heavy Velcro on this. Mind you, just to show you how strong these screens are, this is heavy Velcro that I'm pulling off my screen over and over again. The screen does not rip or tear, which is cool because this stuff embeds and everything. But anyway, because it also too involves the environment. Because depending on, like, say if you don't have a place to paint this on outside, I can go in my backyard or my driveway and paint my screen if I want to. But say you don't have that, and say you have to deal with, you're going to have to paint it inside. Sometimes a paint sprayer is not the best for some people, all right? So a roller would be an easier application. So that's what we're going to do. So it's not hard to do that, to break it down to make it into a roll-on application. That's pretty easy to do. Yeah, HGTV. Yeah, it's the best way to go. But like I said, I understand about the TV and all. Yeah, it's the best way to go because, like I said, I'm 52 and I came from the era where screens were round and they were gray and there were bubble light pushing out, you know, and you could adjust that contrast level all you want. But at that particular time, we just thought that was it, you know. That's how black levels were supposed to look. Now in this era, you have these OLED, these jet black screens, jet black computer monitors, and all this stuff. We know what black is supposed to look like, how it's supposed to react. But like I said, that's why when we developed, like I said, with this formula, it was a fluke that when we painted it on front projection, it was never meant to be painted on front projection. It just reacted that way when it was hit with front projection. So, you know, like I said, it passed some crazy tests that you wouldn't see any of these screens do. You would never see any one of these screens up here do a demonstration with their screen outside at 13 feet back, showing Tron off of it at 6 o'clock in the evening on 1,000 lumens. Name one demonstration any of these screens have done that. They haven't. But we have to make it a roll-on version, because I have a few customers that chime in and say, hey, I want to buy it, but I'm not too good with that. So, you know, so I'm going to go in and we're going to alter some things. We're just going to remove that content that allows it to be able to be rear projection. So keep in mind, not paint this on anything rear, because it's going to say non-rear. It's going to, I'm going to have to change some of the specifications, but it's going to be roll-on only. So that'll make it a lot easier. And some people like the traditional gray screen. Some people still like the traditional gray screen. So, like I said, it serves its purpose, but just showing you side by side why I mainly support black technology. All right, so let's go in. Let's grab ourselves right. The one that I like to do this demonstration. There's a lot of colors in it. Now, this is the reason why I show you the solid colors, the straight blues, the straight greens, and reds, just solid colors. Because if I showed you something like this, all the colors are blending in so fast that you really can't make out what's what. That's why you need to see a solid red, so you can see how the reds react, how the blues react, how the greens react. You need to see that. Then you can see it on here. Now, remind you, this is a black screen that's producing these high bright colors next to screens that are actually maybe 2 or 3 times shade lighter than it. And it's able to maintain its color and contrast at the same time. Now, these screens will produce a higher white level. Yes, they will. But when it comes to color and when it comes to contrast and so forth, this technology is going to be amazing. Now, keep in mind, in order for a black screen to produce a white level this high, or colors this high and it's bright, it has to be able to pick up white light. If it can't pick up, like if you take black house paint or any kind of black material, it's not designed to pick up white light. That's why the images come out dirty. That's why they come out dingy. So this technology is designed to pick up white light. And the higher the white light, the brighter the colors become. Because if you mix paint together and you take red paint and white paint put together, it just lightens it. If you add a little dark into it, it darkens it. So in order for it to pick up those bright colors, it has to be able to have some form of white technology. And please don't mix white paint and try to do that. You're going to regret that one too. It's a little bit more science behind it. So more science behind it than taking a couple of teaspoons of black and mixing it. It's trust me, it's science behind it. Well, I say more God than science, definitely. I tell people you have to have God in order to have the science, because God is the science. All right, now let's go with some bright colors. I like when this display comes on, it just shows all white, but then again, we got a commercial that pops up, which is given. Usually the longer the demonstration is going to be, or the colors, the images, the video is going to be, usually there's going to be commercials in there. So we just let these run on through. So we'll get up close so you can see this. I like to do these up close, so you can see how high that black technology is. This is the reason why, out of all the screen paints that we make, the black sells the highest. Because everybody wants that OLED kind of screen, but they just do not want to pay $15,000 or more for a TV. Keep in mind that may eventually end up having dead pixel issues. And I've seen the complaint, dead pixel issues. I had a friend of mine, he had a TV, he had it mounted against the wall, came home, he had sound, but no picture. And that's why when you see some people throw these TVs out in the trash, you know, we all have done this. You see somebody throw a TV out in the trash, like, are they crazy? I can go get this fixed. And I find out that the parts cost more than the actual TV, that you might just go buy a new TV. I had a friend of mine, like I said, he had a TV and his kids were throwing Matchbox cars in the house. And it hit the screen, the side of the TV, and scratched the crap out of it. Like, wow, you know, if that was a projection screen, you just had to just roll over that spot and be done with it. And they're very expensive. First thing customers tell me, I'm not buying a TV. It's too expensive. If I want to go with the size I want, what they got now? The biggest one they had, well, they had a 100-inch screen. They used to have a 100-inch screen. That thing was $100,000. You know, $100,000 for a TV that pretty much is probably going to eat more power than a projector. So you'll end up getting your bill for that month, and you'll think it's just, whoa, they put my social security number? And they're like, no, that's not your social security number. That's your bill. Yeah, that's a good reason to pass out for a couple of days. Just automatically just went into a coma. We don't know. We was looking at the bill in the doorway, and he's passed out, and he's been here ever since. So there's a contrast demonstration. Now, we did this on the gray screen versus the high performance screens. Our silver screen was able to produce a higher contrast. But as I said, when I had a customer, somebody came in and said, well, that means you're going to start developing gray screens. I said, no. Black technology is just where it's at. Some people like the traditional with the gray screens or the silver screens. But the good thing about when we develop this gray technology is the fact that you're not going to lose too much contrast to the point where basically it's going to be like your image is going to be fading and washing out. That's why we had to do those demonstrations against the high performance grays versus AR gray technology to show the difference in the two. That our screens do give you a lot more advancement on your projector if the screen is gray. But like I said, next to a black screen, and I said it before on camera, it can't hold a candle to it. When we designed that a platinum eclipse, that screen was so dark gray that people thought the screen was black, but it was actually gray. Put that next to a black screen, a contrast though, a black screen will take it apart. It's one of the highest selling screens we have is that black technology. People just like the fact of being able to turn anything into an OLED-like screen. We'll do ourselves a little city demonstration. Now you see here, you see the contrast levels we're picking up on our silver technology versus everything else. Silver screen does pick up good contrast levels, much better than these screens right here, but it's not going to compete with the black. That's why next week I am going to be converting my screen upstairs into a black screen. Of course, because the screen's already mounted, hanging on the wall, and has the LED lights hanging out the back of it, which is connected down to the wall and to the baseboard, I'm going to have to lift it off just a little bit to be able to pad the bar and then hang it back up with the bar and everything against the wall. So I'll be doing that paint on demonstration while it's leaning up against the wall. Of course, I'm going to have to basically drop some drop cloth on it, even though no paint's going to drop, but still I got my equipment down there and I don't feel like moving it. I'm going to just paint that right up against the wall and be done with it. So that should be something that should take no time at all. Get that painted, get it done, and get it ready for the other crispy coming in. Meanwhile, in this room, where we're using the black technology, right here, my screen sits surrounded in windows. And this is black technology. If you're used to seeing this all day, yeah, of course I've got it going, and I gotta change career. I know what that black technology is designed to do. People ask us, what's the best screen paint we make? It's that black. The black is the best thing we can design. This is why, like I said, the orders are starting to stack up because everybody's ordering black, They like the gray. We got a few people order grays. We got a few people, but that black technology, that is the way to go. Because these things are designed to eat a ton of ambient light. I bet you $100 my Chromecast is not even in there. I bet you it's somewhere around the house. That's me, knowing me, that's me. Hold on for a minute. Let me track down the power supply for that Chromecast right there. We'll let that continue to run. I think we got enough time in there for me to run back and get the Chromecast. Come back up. Well, at least you know you got an idea for yourself on you got an idea on yourself on which way, because I have to do a side by side. You had to see a side by side sooner or later, so that way you can, judge for yourself. Some people, if you don't have a very low lumen projector, even though the lowest you can go on a black screen is 1,000 lumens. That's the lowest I would suggest on a black screen. So if you got a black screen, if you have a projector of 1,000 lumens, I wouldn't suggest using 1,000 lumens outside on a black screen. But if you have a projector of 1,000 lumens, black screens can maintain down to 1,000 lumens. Right? They can maintain it down to 1,000 lumens. Anything lower than that, like I said, anything lower than that, I would definitely go with the silver. If you don't feel comfortable, and some people don't feel comfortable going with a screen that dark, knowing the lumens are that low, they would feel better with a lighter screen. And I've had people ask me that before, can you develop something a little lighter that we can feel comfortable with? Then that's your category right there. Rear projection, that's your category. But you want that hardcore black level, that OLED design, this is the technology for you right there. That's what it's developed for. Let's go over and grab, see, let me show you something real quick. So this is the kitchen screen in here. So you can see that for yourself. That black technology is designed to absorb any light in the environment and just basically just draw on the image. Right next to lighting and everything. That's why I painted the screen in here black, because this place in here receives a lot of window light from the deck. And then it receives a lot of light from the windows and so forth. And I needed something that was going to pull that image up with no problem. So, oh, I love that right there. I love how I can just sit right there and just look at that. I'm going to put this right here. I'm going to put something else on real quick. I'm going to do this real quick because right now my neighbors should be at work right now. They should be at work. So I'm going to, let me see. Let's put this in right now. We're going to put this demonstration while I'm open. Oh, here we go. It's going down again. Like, no, don't want to be here. Come on, man. Just a little bit. We're almost done. Almost done. All right. Stay. I thought the other piece was going to bounce off. So we'll watch that for a minute. I'll be right back. All right, so this is what I want to show you, right? I've got my curtains pulled back. As you can see, there's light coming through my curtains. See it right there? I don't want to go too far because my neighbor's house is over. I don't think I'm recording them. And I got my curtains pulled back here. So you can see that screen pulling that image up with all that light wrapped in all those windows. That's why I set the screen here, because I wanted something where the screen, when I first moved into this house, I said this area right here is perfect, because the way this area is boxed in, the screen would be boxed in by a ton of windows. I mean, the windows behind it are not going to affect the screen. That's nothing at all. I don't count the windows behind it because the light is hitting the back of the screen. Unless the light has the ability to hit the back of the screen and then wrap around the screen, which is virtually impossible, you can't count that. That can't be counted. What must be counted is the size windows here, because that's going to bring light that's going to connect right to the screen. That must be counted. But to make sure we do this right, because I don't want to be accused of half curtains. Like I told you, I have no problem doing this stuff. So I don't want to stand on my sofa. So we're going to bring our curtains all the way back. All right, over here. This is what I love about this area. I can watch the sunset come up. Oops, see, my curtains off. I can watch the sunset come up, you know. That's what I love about this particular area. It's knocking my curtains off for you people. Knocking my curtains off for you all. All right, so we got our curtains pulled all the way back. Now, when you do a demonstration displaying window light, you're supposed to have, I don't have any awnings. So when you have awnings, and I explained this to you before, when you have awnings, awnings sit about right there. So any light coming in from the sun, which comes directly down, is going to be rejected by the awnings. You can only get light if it's going underneath. So when I told you, you have to understand, you have to understand the law of physical light. So once you understand the law of physical light, you can look at a demonstration and you can tell whether they're cutting corners. When I see curtains that are halfway across, pulled up, that means any physical light that's coming in here, that's the main light from the top that's going to make contact with that screen. The lower half is really not going to make too much contact. It's going to be this right here because the sun is higher up, which means the light's going to be coming through here and make contact with the screen. That's what I'm talking about when I watch demonstrations. I'll tell you, I can pick apart your demonstration because I can understand physical light. Well, this screen, my friend, right here would have cost you $160 to paint. It would cost you $160 to paint this technology. And the screen I paid for was around, it's a 100-inch Elite. I think I paid somewhere around, I think 160 bucks for it. My projector right now I'm using is a Christie. That's a Christie projector right there. That projector right there cost me $230. And we done the demonstrations on the Christies without our technology. Trust me, the technology does all the work. This is what Christie projectors look like on our technology. Now, if I were to go back and grab, let me see. I can find something here, maybe to resemble that, which I probably won't. Have paper all over the house. Right. All right, here we go. This is the black technology. You have to understand, these screens are designed to produce images outside. So keep in mind, you can't use them in direct sunlight, but inside the house, they can take on about their fair share of light. All these screens that are developed have to pass the 1,000 lumen test. The 1,000 lumen test means the projector must be sitting back at least 12 to 13 feet, and it must be able to be hit with a 1,000 lumen projector and pull an image outside. If they pass that test, then they basically are called screen painters. If not, we don't bother with it, we scrap it. If you had a white screen and your projector, my projector is 4,000 lumens behind me, it's a 4,300 lumen projector. Let me see. No, it doesn't do that. This technology is beyond that. It screens, bottom line is it's not gonna basically disrupt at all. Right now we just did sample sheets right now. But if your screen was white and you had that Christie projector at around 43, my projector is 4,300 lumens, 1920 by 1200 WXGA projector, that's what you'd be getting if you had a white screen. Your image would completely fade out. Now, this is the technology, same black technology we're using here against the gray screens. This technology is designed to take on light. We'll take Gray Cinema 5D by Elite Screens, right here. A lot of sunlight piercing through that window. All right. So that right there next to that is a Gray Cinema 5D by Elite Screens. So that screen for a 100-inch would cost you somewhere in the price range of around, I say probably around $13 to $1,400. Our screen right there would cost you around, he just got tired, like, you know what, no, Kenneth, not today, we're not having that. So it would pretty much take about $1,300 to $1,400 for that screen. So this is how we have to test our technology. How do we find out when a screen can produce an image or stop producing an image, and how in a well-lit environment or in an environment basically using sunlight? We have to take a projector, stick it outside. We start the demonstration at 9 o'clock. We have to run a loop video, which means that video will be running from 9 o'clock all the way until 12 o'clock at night. We have a camera out there, and that camera is going to basically record when that screen activates. So if the camera would probably activate between 8, 9, and 10, around 11 and 12, the screen will actually start to wash out and fade. By the time it hits 6 o'clock, the screen will activate again, and then it'll go on from there. So then we know around 6 o'clock, that screen will activate. 7 o'clock, it will activate. Now, depending on in daylight saving hours, around the winter time, they activate at 6, and the summertime, they activate at 7. That's how we know. We have to do all that testing. But when you're showing off a demonstration and you're supposed to show window light, like I said, you're not supposed to have those windows halfway shut. See how that light's coming? See, look at the bottom. See the bottom light? See right here? See how all the main light is coming from the top, right? And right here, the light's coming less from the bottom. All the window lights pushing from the top. So what they do is they shut the blinds from here to here. That blocks all the light from there to there. The main light, the one that's going to really basically wash out your image. And these windows are going to be left open because that's going to give the appearance that there's actually window light entering the environment when it really isn't. Those are the tricks that you're not seeing. That's the stuff that I see every day when I watch these demonstrations. This is what you're not seeing. Now, if they were to pull those curtains all the way up, and if they didn't have an awning there, you would see all that light constantly hitting the screen. Also, too, another thing too I explained to people is that when they use these demonstrations, they like to use the ultra short throw, because the ultra short throw, it's going to have a shorter distance to make contact with the screen. Where this projector is 18 feet back, it's going to travel all this light and hit the screen, make contact with the screen. So there's a whole lot of science behind it that people want to cut corners on. And they figure that you're not going to notice that. They notice it, but people in my profession that have been in there for a long time, we can see it and we can tell. That's why companies don't bother calling these particular people up, because they can see it. They test projectors and screens all day long. I can see it. You know, other people have been working with projectors and so forth. They can see it. But yeah, there's little tricks that they use to make the room look like it's well lit, but it's not really well lit. There's nothing really in contact with the screen. So, you know, that's why you need to really carefully look at some of the demonstrations when you watch it. You can have the lights on too. So, all that light is piercing through, so you can see how much light's piercing through. They come through, light travels. When you see when it comes down from the sun, it hits these two windows right here. The bottom ones doesn't hit that yet. As the sun starts to drop, then basically it'll make contact with these two windows and light will push through. So you also had to look at the time of the day, and the time of the day when the demonstration's being done. So that's why I have these light curtains. I can push those back and I can expose all that window light to the screen. And as you see where the screen sits embedded in windows. Now you can't count the screens in the back, the windows in the back, because that light's hitting the back of it. That right there would cost you $160 to paint up to a 126-inch screen anywhere in the price range of, let me see, my sample sheet just came off. That should be up there, because I can't do the white sheet of paper because that's no purpose to it. And the reason why I can't just do a white sheet of paper, because like I said, anything can beat a white sheet of paper. Anything can beat a white sheet of paper. That's really not a demonstration to do. White screens are just done to show the difference in contrast when it comes to screens. If you're looking at someone doing a demonstration, I explained it before, on a white sheet of paper, You have to understand, if you can still make out the other screen, that means the contrast levels are really not that great over the difference of the white screen. Now, when we do these demonstrations on our black technology versus a white screen, you don't even see the white screen anymore. You just see our technology pushing through the contrast, the detail on the animal. That's what you see. You got to show a huge difference between one or the other. Now, you remember when Screen Innovation, when they first started off, you remember when he took that little sample sheet and he was moving around the white screen? If you notice, you didn't see the white screen at all. All you saw was the blues and reds coming off his sample sheet as he moved it all around the screen. That's how it has to be done. You have to show a huge difference between the two. But if somebody shows you a demonstration and you're looking at a small difference in between the white screen and that screen, that means that screen it's not too far off from basically becoming a white screen. There's not much of a big difference there. I saw that demonstration. Like I said, Crow Boys send me links to other videos. They do. They go in there and they watch other videos and they send me links to compare to my technology, and I'll show them a video of what I've done and say, hey, look, this is how it's supposed to look. So I've seen the demonstration of somebody using a white piece of paper by trying to display that their screen produces a better contrast, but what they missed in that demonstration is the fact that the white screen and the gray screen weren't too far off when it came to color. There wasn't much of a big difference. See the big difference you're seeing right here, and the deep dark reds versus the white piece of paper, and then the Gray Cinema 5D. You have to show a massive, great difference. Not just a slight difference, because that means that anybody can just come in and just change it just a little bit just to get that niche. That's going to keep coming off altogether. But that's pretty much it. You have to show a huge difference. That's why when I showed that demonstration, we had the screen painted, and we had the black splattered across the screen. You can see the colors, the fish, everything pulled from that screen, but the white screen is completely unnoticeable. So the white surface has to be unnoticeable. If it matches too close to the screen that they're trying to display, then that means the demonstration is a fail. That's all. Because people can see through all that. People I have business contacts with, they watch those demonstrations. They say, yeah, that's pretty much like someone mixing house paint together. It's pretty much the same reaction. They have all done that stuff. Literally, mixed all kinds of stuff together. So you have to show a huge, significant change. All right, let me bounce from here and close my windows for my neighbors automatically think I'm nutty enough as it is. You'd be surprised, man. I mean, just because one time because I was turning my lights on and off, and on and off, and on and off, and on and off. Now I do that basically to show the difference between the ambient light in the environment and how it looks in the dark. And you know, you're across the street and you're watching my lights go on and off, on and off. You're thinking that there may be something wrong with this fellow across the street. And then a few times when I was setting up my screen upstairs, they just see me doing this, you know, I'm doing hand gestures and stuff, but I'm talking in front of a camera, but they don't see the camera. So now apparently they think I talk to myself too also. But now who cares? And only one person knows what I do for a living here. Only one. Now that's with the window, the blind shut, the veneer blind shut, right? And this is still how much light pushes through this environment. All right, so we're going to come out of here because I had to charge my phone a bit because it was dying. And we're going to come back over here into this one over here. Now this one demonstration we're doing as you see in the title about how I'm going to be converting my gray screen upstairs to a black screen. Sorry if you're not hearing me too well. Converting my gray screen to a black screen because I need the contrast levels badly. I do. I need the contrast levels super badly, especially if I'm doing a lot of games. I'm going to be running my PS5 up there if I finally get my hands on one, or the Xbox if I finally get my hands on one. I'm going to do that on a black screen. Bar none. That's going on a black screen. So let me see what we got going here. So as I showed you before, all right, let me get something new sticky for that one, because this one right here, he just doesn't really want to play nice today. So let's get something new. Sticky for that one. He's just determined. Yeah, those TVs, like I said, there's a lot of money. A lot of money for a TV, man. I used to go over to Best Buy and talk, just go over there and check out some of the TVs they had over there, look at them, look at the prices for them. And, I used to get that sales clerk that would pop up and go, hey, we got this nice TV over here, so it's good price, let me so and so and so. Let's see. All right, so way too much. What you mean by way too much? You do know that, because what do you mean by way too much? Way too much money or way too many paints? I'm trying to understand what you mean by way too much. Or price of a TV? Yeah, price of a TV is crazy expensive. It's insane what they want for TVs now. Yeah, man, yeah. TVs are freaking crazy expensive. And they're so freaking delicate, man. People have been suffering from getting dead pixels, and that's why people suffering from dead pixels. Like I said, I had a friend of mine came home and had freaking no TV, he had sound, but he had no freaking blah 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 blah. He had no picture. Back in the day, TVs used to take tubes. You remember those? Who remember when TVs used to take tubes? You had to call a TV repairman. They come in and pop the back of the TV out and change the tubes. Yeah, I remember that when I was a kid coming up. Now they take GPU chips. You got a motherboard in the back of them. So you got a TV that generates a ton of freaking heat, and I mean a ton of freaking heat, stuck inside of a little thin panel, and it's leaning against your wall where the air holes are actually in the back of the screen instead of the front or on the side. And after a while, that GPU is going to burn out. You're going to come home to no freaking... Not everybody goes through that, but think about it. If you had a $15,000 TV on your wall and you had kids or anybody, wouldn't you freak out? I would freak out if I'm having a freaking a dinner party. I'd be afraid somebody might come along and stick their fingers all over the TV or... Oh my goodness, man. I'd have to have a sheet of plexiglass around it. I'd be afraid. I wouldn't want people to touch it. Even go near it. You always got that one person at the party that just likes to get drunk and lean too close to your valuables. We all know those people. Like, look, Bob, I'm gonna need you to do me a favor. I need to put down that Chardonnay and move away from that boss. Thank you. Costs more than your life, my friend. But anyway, yeah. But people touch it and stuff like that. They touch the screen, they have dirt on their hands, and they touch the screen, and then the next thing you got these old fingerprints all over your freaking screen. That freaked me out. Yeah, we've seen it. You know what I mean? People get drunk and they, what's this thing right here? It's a TV. Can I touch it? I'm like, are you freaking kidding me? You got finished eating some freaking greasy food and you're just coming over and then touch your screen. Like, that looks just so nice. And you know what happens? They press on them. They get damaged the crystals in that thing. Yep. I would have like armed security on each side. Like, excuse me, sir, we need you to back away and get over top of the velvet line. If you don't move, I will be forced to use force. Yeah, I know. If one of my little ones come over and they smear the side of my screen, I'm not worried about that. Just go downstairs and make some more paint. Just go done. That's it. And it has happened. It has happened. Trust me. Well, that's what we're doing right now. This right here is our new silver technology we developed right here. We did a demonstration. I'll send you. I'll put a link at the bottom. We got a link at the bottom where we did the platinum eclipse. We did the 12, which is a black screen. We did the and the 9, all in one hit before this one ever came out, and we did them all at the same time. So it should give you a comparison, so you can figure out which one is going to fit you best. So I'll put that link at the bottom so you can look at all those. But now you're seeing this one together, the silver and black, and a lot of people want to see exactly because the contrast levels, like I said, on the silver is actually extremely good compared to some of these gray screens because we tested against those gray screens. And that's the only screen right there that can pull an image up at 6 o'clock in the evening on 1,000 lumens. So quite impressive. And on top of that, if you coat this technology on plexiglass, it becomes rear, which, hold on for a minute. I should be doing that right now to show you that real quick. That's one of the perks on that technology. got one no-no screen. All right, so I do these basically to show off a little bit of the difference. Okay, so we're just gonna come over this video real quick, and I'm gonna show you what happens when you coat the silver. So this is the silver technology. Silver technology has rear technology embedded into it. It has to be sprayed on. That's we're gonna make a roll-on version. This is what happens to the surface if you roll it on. We advise you not to roll the surface on if you're using plexiglass. Some people feel that they use a smooth roller, they can roll it on. Do not do that, you will damage the screen. This is what happens when you spray it on. How smooth the surface looks. So, this right here is front and rear technology. That's what the silvers have. So I'm gonna come over here, disconnect my phone for just a minute. I'm gonna stand in front of the projector. That's what the silvers do. So if you have a projection screen that you want to turn rear, you turn rear. Now keep in mind, if you put with 3 coats is the max you can put on here. If you put on 2 coats, I would suggest you using a rear projection screen. Not rear projection screen. I suggest you using ultra short throw, because ultra short throws do not cast lamp glare. Lamp glare is that blinding glare that you see pushed from the lamp. This projector is 4,000 lumens, so as you're seeing, it basically blocks a great deal of it, right? Now, this right here is one application. That's one application right there. This right here is, no, this one. This right here is 2 applications. Now, see how this stuff reacts? This is also fantastic if you want to use this for window advertising. Some of you want to use this for window advertising, spray it on your window. You want to have people come over and check out your storefront windows. This is a fantastic way to do it. And this is from best paint sprayers to use this with is the Wagner 250, which I purchased, and it's freaking amazing. So that technology right there, that silver technology we developed, is front and rear. That's the rear part of the technology. And this is, no, sorry, my bad. This is the front part of the technology, and this is the rear. Now I'm going to show you how crazy this stuff is. I'm going to take the screen and I'm going to tilt it upward. And you can still see the image bouncing off the screen from an angle. Look at the angle it's pulling up. It's not laying this way. I got it laying this way. And you can still pick it up. It can filter right through the side of that plexiglass and pull an image right up on top of it. Yeah, I told you that stuff is crazy. Whoops. Yeah, that silver technology we developed, that stuff is crazy. So, like I said, either way, now the Platinum Eclipse is a very dark silver. They're so dark, they're actually dark gray. That screen is literally so dark that they look black, but they're not. It's a very dark screen. So these are for people who wanted higher white levels and wanted a balance of contrast. So that's where that technology came in. 9s are interesting. 9s have a kind of goldish, kind of brownish look to them. They're kind of weird looking. 9s were designed for color pop. Mostly people who are into 3D applications and stuff like that, or they use them basically for visual effects. They go near the 9s because the 9s actually pop higher colors. But yep, so each one has its own capabilities. And the black screens, we call that the boss screen because that screen is designed to pull heavy contrast. And then you have the silver. Silver can be used as front projection, rear projection. That technology produces amazing contrasts. For those who want that traditional gray, you get those really dark contrast levels. Like I said, not next to a black, but you get the dark contrast levels. You'll get color pop, and on top of that, the gain capability is amazing. Because like I said, 12 to 13 feet back, watching Tron at 6 o'clock in the evening outside. That's pretty remarkable for a screen that's gray. All right, with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed the video demonstration. I will be doing the paint on demonstration for the screen, converting that over to black, probably around somewhere around mid, I don't know, probably Wednesday or Thursday. Because Thursday's going to be a crazy day for me. My driver comes down, we get the rest of the orders out the door, so it's going to be a bit of a crazy day. So I'm going to try to fit all that in there. And I still have to do the paint on demonstration outside, which I've been kind of putting off because I'm trying to get this stuff done. And then we get the gamer screen to build, and then I got to go back and I got to call freaking They sent me an email today. Elite Screen sent me an email today. Oh, no, no, no. It wasn't that email. It wasn't the email where they want to give me take the screen back. It was an email telling me, oh, thank you. I hope this basically survey helped you out and helped you so and so and so. And they left it at that. So they never came and sent me a label, nothing. I sent them all the product codes, the numbers, serial numbers, and everything to take their screen back. And by then, like I said, I already bought another screen. So I got 135 upstairs right now, already painted, ready to go. But they're still not taking the screen back. They're still not under the agreement. And Amazon has showed them that I purchased the screen. I bought it from them. They requested serial numbers. I sent them all the information, everything. And they sent me back an email saying, well, thank you for your input. You have a nice day. That's it. Yep, that's what they did. So they think they're going to basically stick me with this screen and not take it back. I went to my credit card company, did a charge back. But the messed up thing about that, because it's going through MasterCard, I got to wait 90 days. So that thing's going to be sitting in my house for 90 days. All they had to do was send me a replacement, which I wanted. I didn't want my money back. Just wanted a replacement. Just send me another screen. I need it for work. They didn't want to do that. All right, can you get my money back? We don't want to do that. But they just sent me some dumb email talking about thank you so much for your input. See my screen right there in the kitchen? Ah, look at the one in the kitchen right there. See right there? It's pulling up in the kitchen right next to the window light. Well, Elite Screens, I'm going to continue to test your products. I'm not going to slander their product because that would be wrong. That would be disrespectful to slander their product because they did do me dirty. You know, they did me really dirty. But I'm not going to slander their product. I'm just going to continue to do my demonstrations clean and do my side-by-side demonstrations. Maybe they know who I am. Maybe they know, say, hey, that's that guy over there who freaking keeps doing demonstrations against our stuff, and we're just going to jack him over and just send him a screen with most of the parts missing out of the screen. That's what we're going to do and wreck his day. You know, wreck my day. Actually, I found a new company that has, I built that screen on live. I found a new company not only can ship the screen faster than you can, but the material is better because I can coat it faster, which means when I coat this stuff, it has a slick coating on it, I guess for washing the screen. And what happens is when the formula hits it, it separates. It doesn't really it's still laying a foundation, but I have to paint it twice. That screen I have to paint twice. One time, done, blah. It was easy. The other screen was easier to put together, and it was cheaper. I paid $264 or $54 for the Elite screen, and the other screen cost me for 135-inch around $184. If I wanted to go with 155-inch from the other company, it would have cost me $260 or $70. No, $255. $255 if I wanted to do 150-inch. So Elite screen, only thing I see from Elite screen that would be cheaper and I would probably have to buy, they have a 235.1 92-inch screen. If I go over to Silver Ticket wants $400 or $500 for it. And I can get it cheaper from Elite Screens. Because that other screen upstairs is going back. I'm getting my money for it. It's going back. But I do want to build an acoustic screen. So that is my next project. I'm going to build a all black acoustic screen because I've never seen an acoustic screen in black. Never seen one. So we're going to make one. We're going to make a black acoustic screen. Ooh, she's pretty. I'm sorry. From my window, I can see people walking their dogs. Well, dog is way too big. That relationship would never work. That dog would probably end up killing me. But anyway, so I'm going to design the ultimate. We're going to build the ultimate acoustic screen, and it's going to be beautiful. So I'll be starting work on that probably a week from now. I got to go order speakers. I got to get some stuff from my welding kit downstairs. I have to put rails in the back of it so I can connect speakers that swing in and swing out behind the back of the screen. So it's going to be something interesting we're going to build. It's going to be jet black, all jet black. So that's next. If people have been asking about building acoustic screens, and we're going to do that next. Ain't that cold outside, really? Just got a freaking Parker on. From my window here, I can see all the way up there to the golf course. It's got a freaking Parker on. It's not that cold outside. Look at that. There you go. That's what I'm talking about. You have to see a significant difference. And that's the white sheet of paper in the center of the screen. You have to see a significant difference. It can't be something where you're seeing a slight little bit of a difference. That's not good enough. It has to be a massive difference. That's what put Black Diamond on the map. Because when he came out there, and it shocked me, when he brought that little sample sheet up there on that white screen and he moved it around, anywhere he moved that screen, that blue pulled up on that screen. Got to show a significant difference. If you're showing a slightly faded red versus a slightly darker red, that's not a difference. So our lights are up. Hold on, let me turn my I actually didn't get the time from here. Didn't get time from the other screen. Let me go over here real quick. I gotta keep my charge on here. Let's go pop over here. Mind you, as we're watching this demonstration, you see how this image is blending in with our technology, right? Our screen is jet black. So keep in mind, not to be rude to any of the Crow boys, but when Mr. You-Know-Who was basically saying that our product was so dark that you couldn't see it, how is it possible that this screen is lighter than my screen, and yet my screen can pull a high enough white level to come close to matching it? Now see, that's our technology. And somebody will sit there and say, well, Mr. Bird, it's not right because that's your technology. Yep, it is my technology up there. It is my technology up there. Gotta pee something caught my. You're right, that is my technology up there. But I can do the same thing with the Gray Cinema 5D right there. All right, so we're at 7:50 right now. It is 7:50 in the morning, right? And all my screens are fired up at 7:50 in the morning. No blackout cloths, nothing covering the windows, no dark environments, and all these screens are running with no problem whatsoever. This is why ambient light rejection technology is very important. If Elite Screens, all these big companies are investing all this money into converting their screens over into ambient light rejection, it is needed. So we're at 7:50 right now. Now I gotta start knocking out some lights in here too, because my electric bill is already insane enough as it is. My electric bill is freaking insane. I got a crazy electric bill. How much you pay for electric? A little too much. These are the kind of demonstration you have to do. Check this out. Let me see what screen that is. Yeah, that's their new screen. Daylight. We got the sample sheet here. When I saw this demonstration on this screen, I was puzzled because I'm thinking like, okay, Daylight has a black screen? Because that's what I'm looking at, like, it's a black screen. I thought it was black when I got it, but it's actually a little bit of a, it's not gunmetal, but it's kind of a darker silver. So when I get it here and I look at it, I go, wow, that is really, really freaking dark. I mean, that's a really dark surface right there. Now, this right here is the Dark Star 9 by Elite Screen. This is how dark their screens are. If you look at them side by side, right here and here, they're pretty dark. So they're made out of that kind of reflective surface, right? These surfaces right here sometimes don't work well with ultra short throw, which we happen to have an ultra short throw in the next room, which we should be over there. So let's see. It's the ultra short throw right here. Oh, see? But it looks like a dark screen when you look at it, right? It's a very dark screen. We could have too much light in the environment. That could be basically plaguing the screen. It could be a couple of things in here that could be plaguing the screen that may not make it work right. There is the Dark Star 9 right there, ultra short throw. Now this projector right here has a 20,000 to 1 contrast. So with a 20,000 to 1 contrast, if you had two of these screens in this environment, that's the image you'd be pulling off. Let's see. We dropped that one off together. Make you think, don't it? That's a $3,000 projection screen. $3,000 with a 0.9 gain. There you go. And somebody say, well, your product costs too much money. That's a $3,000 and $5,000 projection screen. Altogether screens, that's $8 grand right there. How would 160 bucks cost too much to a screen that would cost you? I just showed you in there. Even with an ultra short throw, just because you have an ultra short throw and your projector is sitting what? I'm sitting less than a foot away from my screen. And you think at 3600 lumens at 20,000 to 1 contrast, yeah, if your technology is not correct on your screen, it will affect your projector. As you can see, I was able to pull that image up with no problem whatsoever. Let me see. And those are the darker screens compared to the darker ones. So that's the darker part of these technologies that are just displayed. Imagine if I put anything lighter up there. All right, so let's take these down right now. Because, you know, I've already talked about why I'm going to be changing and converting my screen over. But like I said, it's up to you on what you want to use. You know, like I said, some people, the silver is good. It's good technology, like I said. But, you know, next to our black technology, they can't hold a candle to it. Not to that black technology. But as I told you before, that the black technology, even when it comes to white levels, you're still not going to miss a beat. They may be slightly lower than a gray screen or a white screen, but you're still not going to miss a beat. And you can see how much light is crossing the screen. And mind you, all the while, this is all being done in 720p. There's no 4K, no 1080p, none of that nonsense. We're not saying none of that nonsense. They're good projectors, but, you know, we had people come at us saying, well, you know, he uses a 720p projector. 720p is not the way to go. You know, you got to spend money for a more high-end projector. No, you don't. Your screen should be able to perform well on a 720p as such as a 1080p or 4K. Because you have to consider the fact that if you're making that statement that you have to have 4K, then people out there who can't afford 4K, who don't have 4K, you're telling them that no, you can't have this product because you have to have this particular projector to get this particular image. Or I can come on and say, look, I paid $100 for that projector on eBay. It is used. I bought it from somebody, and it's a used projector, and I'm producing this image on my screen. And this is all it cost me, it's $100, and it's 720p. That tells my customers that, hey, I can go dust off that old projector in the back and fire it up and go watch the movies off of it. Because as I said before, it's not your projector. Let's just knock off. But it's not your projector. It is your screen. All this lays heavily on your it lays heavily on your screen. Let's get some music in here, some sound. I don't know if my soundboard's connected or not. All this lays heavily on your screen. Your screen, I don't care how much money you pay for your projector, without the proper screen, your projector is worthless. Let me show you something. I move my projector down so you can see half the floor. Now I got half the projector hitting right there along the rim, right there, right? I told when the fellows asked me what kind of projector do I have, doesn't make a difference on how high powered your projector. Without that proper technology, you're not going to be able to pull that image. See where the colors and everything fade and wash out? Same projector I'm hitting on there, I'm hitting on that white wall. Now when I was doing the sample sheets up there and I was showing the different sample sheets, that's the same way it's going to react to this projector. I like using the Gray Cinema 5D because a lot of people have this screen. I have this right here in the middle. What's the middle bar? The middle bar is there. The middle bar in there. Now mind you, keep in mind, Most people say, hey, what kind of projector you got over there? Oh, that's the Christie, so and so and so, 4,000 lumens, so and so and so. So they think, oh, maybe it's the projector doing all the work and the screen's not doing anything. No, it's the screen doing all the work. Because without our technology, that projector would look like that and that if you brought it home without our technology. All right, let's move this stuff over here. I'm gonna get back to my picture. Beautiful picture. I love having this giant jet black screen. And one thing I miss is when I used to have people used to come over and they would just stare at it because they could say, "What the freak is that thing?" Because you're used to seeing projection screens being white, white or gray or something like that. And they would come over and they see this great big black screen on the wall and they couldn't figure out, is that a screen? Like, yes, a projection screen. Especially when I go outside and do the demonstrations. And I tell them, yeah, this is a projection screen. Oh, Lord. Here we go. Bring it back a little bit. So you can see that overhead light. Yeah, beautiful. Those cherries pop. Wrong choice of words. But anyway. And like I said, 720p. That right there, that's 1080p. That's a 1080p projector. That's a 720p projector. So I bought 3 of the Christie's LW400. I got another one coming in, and the 505 should be here today. Hopefully, because man, I've been trying to get my hands on this projector forever. I mean, it's the most hardest projector I've ever tried to get here in the shop. I've had some problems getting that projector. And the first one I got burnt on, didn't work, had problems with that one. And then I got the other one, and then because of the fires in California, and I hope you guys are okay over there in California. And our prayers are with you, that because of the fire down there, they delayed a lot of the shipping. So my projector was stuck down there for about 2 or 3 days. So now it's finally here in Philadelphia. I get it today. I was supposed to get it Wednesday, but I got it today. Now I want to see what this thing looks like on the 505. And the 505 is freaking huge. So I'm not going to put it here because this is short throw. I got to it's going in the gaming room. I even bought a new lamp for it. And guess what? This particular Christie 505 comes with the remote control. That's the reason why I paid that extra money for it, because the remote control is kind of hard to come by. Let me show you how beautiful those white levels are. Let's put you right here. And that's the sloths relaxing, watching their shows. So let's see, where are we at right now? So that's the 720p, that's the 1080p. So let's see. Now, if you went out and bought the 135-inch screen, that's, let's say, about 180. That's what I paid, about 180. And then the projector over there cost me around $100. So that's about 280 bucks. And then you're talking about getting the screen paint, which you'll be needing somewhere around the 187 mark. I mean, you're pretty much under $1,000. You could design an amazing system. Use it in a fully lit environment, ultra short throw compatible. Take it outside if you want. I got screens all through the house. I got a 79-inch portable portrait screen upstairs in the office. The gaming room has a 135 and a 100-inch screen up there. Out on the deck, I got 126. I got a 106-inch here and 135 here. And then I got a screen painted to the ceiling. That's a screen up there right now. Then the kitchen. Kitchen screen, I think, is around maybe 60 inches, but I gotta measure that kitchen screen too. Is that 60 inches? Measuring tape's upstairs. I gotta find out how big that screen is when I built it. Music is banging. Let me show you something. All right, so we're gonna take a walk around the house. At this screen here. That's crazy, ain't it? All right. Ooh. I like this particular one. I gotta leave this here for you guys to look at this. Look at this. Look at the black levels and the way the color pulls from the screen. All right, let's take a walk. I love doing the contrast. All right. This is what it looks like when I walk every morning when I get up. This is what I see every morning. I can come on here and watch TV shows here. All the lights are on, right next to the window. I can come here and watch a movie if I want. All the lights are on. And notice, no dark areas. There's my screen sitting embedded in Windows. Now most of the sunlight that came through and hit that screen didn't even flinch. This is the everyday normal this screen actually thrives in with the lights on. I'll take these off because I got to pay electric bill at the end of the day. Right there at the end of the month. Let's go upstairs to my office screen. Hold on. From any angle, you should be able to see these screens. All right, so let's pop upstairs to the office. That's where I'm working in there. This is my office screen right now. That's my portrait mode, 79-inch portrait mode custom screen for myself. Because I like that portrait mode. I got this running through my Christie right now. Let me see. That's going up. That's why you gotta have that lens shift. Because that lens shift will allow you to put it right back where you need to be at. So this is my office work screen. So this is why these screens have to be ambient light rejection, because it allows me to be able to work in a well-lit environment. As you see, my curtains are not dark. You can see my trees and everything. In the golf course, you can see everything, the trees, everything, because all that light pushes through. That's why I like these particular curtains. So I like to keep this room well lit as much as possible. I don't like to be in dark environments. It drives me crazy. An area over here. There's a black screen, 135. Another screen right here. This is the silver screen, but then I'm going to convert this over to black, because like I said, I need to have that black technology in there. I have to, because I'm doing all gaming in this room. It'd be rare if I watch movies in here. This is all gonna be set up for gaming. It's gaming, 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 gaming only in this environment. And that's the silver screen right there. When I told you it has amazing ambient light projection technology embedded into it. But I need it black. That's the screen I'm building on. These are projects. That's the 135-inch screen that I got for $180. And that's the screen that Elite refuses to take back. Please take your screen, please. Give me my money. No, it's not the fact that, I mean, if they don't give it to me and I don't get, like, I'm going to get it back either way because, like I said, I did the charge back, but come on, man. Really? I mean, worst things worse. I've already, pretty much last night from the orders I got in, I didn't pay for that screen 3 or 4 times over. So I could turn it, just keep it and turn it into a giant acoustic screen, but it's too big at 135. It's just too big of a screen design on that level. Unless I use it for something for like Christmas or Halloween or so. I don't celebrate Halloween, I forgot. I don't celebrate Halloween. But for Christmas it'd be nice. So you back up in here to the 720p projector. This is what I mean by I can walk through my house. When I made that statement to one of the Crow boys, I said, look, I can walk through my whole house. All my projectors are running. Fully lit environment, and I can see every last one of my screens with no problem whatsoever. That's how it's supposed to work. There's no ambient light controlled environments in here. This is my home. I just turn my lights on and I just go about my business. So if that area has to be set up to make that screen look good, then there's a problem there. And usually when I watch these demonstrations, and like I said, a particular individual sets his area up to make the image look good. Because if there weren't lights there, if there weren't lights in that environment that were already there, if you don't see them in every video on, and you just see them in a particular video just set up, like, okay, put it this way. Say if I do all my videos with the lights out, right? And say somebody wants me to do a video with the lights on, right? I just do that one video with the lights on, but I have lights set up in different areas to give off the illusion like my screen is pulling off an image. If your screen does not require ambient light projection, and it's that good, your lights should be on in every last demonstration. There should be hardly any demonstrations with the lights off. I do so many demonstrations with the lights on. I have people who come into my channel ask me to turn the lights off. That's how many demonstrations I do with the lights on. So if your screen is that good, you should have no problem walking throughout an entire environment filled with projection screens. No TVs. We don't have TVs in here. Only TVs are for security monitors. You should be able to pull an image from anywhere. You're looking at my kitchen right now. You can see my screen right next to that window pulling up an image. I can show you the difference between that technology in that room and a $5,000 projection screen on ultra short throw. I can show you the difference between this technology and high performance projection screens. I can show you the difference in this technology and white paper or pretty much any form of high performance screen, and also the screen sitting in a ton of windows with light pushing all around it and still producing an image. So when you watch demonstrations where majority of those demonstrations are done in the dark, and then for a split couple of minutes they just have the lights on, and then the video finishes in the dark, then it just tells you right there what you have. It's a fake ambient light projection form of technology. Because I can leave all these lights on, which will kill my electric bill, and I can basically watch any screen I want in here. And that's what people want. People do not want to sit in the dark. Got a dedicated theater room? Oh, fine and well, okay? That's your dedicated theater room. That's what it's set up for. But your living room is not a dedicated theater room. Your living room is a living room for your family and friends and so forth, or your gatherings you're going to have in there. But it's not designed to be dark. Some people want to sit there and read. Some people want to do this. Some people want to do that. And it has to be well lit. That screen has to react like a TV. You turn your TV on. You don't darken your curtains. You don't basically turn on your lights. You don't do any of that stuff. So why are you going to do the same thing when it comes to a projection screen? If you're going to be trading up a TV for a projector, or basically upgrading, or basically changing over to a TV, then why are you going to sit in the dark? That's why I said when I watch these demonstrations, no. You're supposed to be able to use that in a fully lit environment. You're supposed to see contrast, the whole 9 yards, everything. If I'm sitting in the dark all day, I'm just gonna buy a TV. That's it. If I gotta darken all the curtains and all the windows I have in this home in order to watch a show, I'm buying a TV. What's the point? At least I can have my window light. Got this music stuck in my head now. Supposed to look just like a TV from edge to edge. Well, my screen's a little bigger than edge to edge. So if the screen's having a problem struggling inside, outside is going to be even worse. That's why when I see demonstrations of people showing up their screens outside, it's at nighttime. They do those demonstrations at night, or if they try to do them in the daytime, either the projector's sitting really close to the screen and the screen's too small, or the screen's on a slant where basically light is hitting the back of the screen. In some way they're doing it to just basically just show, and they won't show any contrast levels outside, not one. The screen will wash out. I'm gonna go over here to this one real quick. I just want to grab something off of this video real quick. If I can find it. We're not gonna play the same video back. I'm just looking for something off of it. Here we go. That's what I wanted. Don't you dare. I'm about to do something else that I want. There we go. Not that. We're gonna get those. We're gonna get those commercials gonna pop in from time to time. You see his skin tone? Look at the white on his on his garment. Look how bright the white rocks are in the background. Oh, sorry about that. That's the Great Cinema 5D by Elite Screens. That's when people say, oh, your guys are just alike. No, we're not just alike. I can walk through my entire, so I told the guy, I can walk through my entire house with all my lights on, every last screen, every projector running, and everyone will pull an image. None will wash out, none will fade out. I can put them side by side to high-tech screens, and I can show you a difference. Oh, man. I love this technology. I love it. I do love my technology. I do love it. Somebody said, why don't you marry it? Maybe I will. Maybe I will. Maybe I will. Now, the last demonstration I did with the LED lights, I was supposed to post those LED lights. I'll post them today. Usually early in the mornings when I do all the posting for the links. So I'll put the LED lights in where you can buy them from on Amazon, the ones I'm using for the chasers. Now, keep in mind, they're like 40 bucks a pop. So don't be sticker shock, okay? But we will be opening up a shopping cart today, which will have probably 10 of them in there with free LED lights. So first come, first serve. 1 quart, your choice. Or either you want the 9, sorry, silver's not included in that one. But if you want the 9, if you want the 12, or if you want the blah 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 blah, the platinum eclipse. That's a ton of hard work to make a black screen produce an image like that. It is not freaking easy. Really not. A lot of trial and error, a lot of practice, a lot of time. A lot of freaking time, people. A lot of time. So right now, if I wasn't recording this, I would be up in the morning, fixing breakfast, getting my hot cup of tea, and I'll be sitting there looking at this. Same way you're looking at it right now, this is how I'll be looking at it. I don't have to set my environment up, like put special lights here and there to prove that it can pull an image in a fully lit environment. I don't have to do all that. I just show you my everyday environment, where my screens sit. And like I said, that's things I noticed that when I look at like big companies, that's a setup. That's a whole stage setup for that screen. It's a fake living room. All that's fake. They rent it out of a house, or it's all fake setup to give that image, that look. And they know where to put the lights at to make the environment seem like the screen's taking in all this light, but it really isn't. And then they use a high power projector, and then voila. Like I told you, I would give anybody free paint for a year if you can show me one demonstration of any one of these big companies using a 720p projector. They're not going to use a 720p projector. They're going to use the most expensive projector they can get their hands on, because the projector's doing all the work. Same thing, I watch people who do screen paints. Same thing. If you look at the environment looks the same way every single time. It's always dark in the environment. The only time when they try to prove that the screen does some form of ambient light, they will add extra lights in the environment. These lights were never there to begin with. They were added into it to try to give off that appearance that it can do so. But at the end, noticing when those contrast levels start popping off on that screen, and they can see the image start to fade, the rest of that video will finish with the lights being off. And that's where you'll sit with that screen. Where I can come in here, I'm the very few people that come in here and turn the lights on to turn on the projector. When everybody turns the light off to turn on the projector, because you know the image will show better in the dark than it will with the lights on. And that just tells my customers right from the door that, number one, you don't need 4K or 1080p because it's a 720p we're using. And number two, you don't have to sit in the dark all day. I can go to eBay right now. I mean, I can buy, you see me buy relics. You see me buy old relic projectors. Old projectors. And still produce amazing images on our screens. When it comes to buying a projector, I really don't have to spend a lot of money. The screen does all the work. I don't have to worry about contrast. The screen does all the work. It's the whole purpose. You have people tell you, oh, well, you got to go calibrate your projector. You have to go interline it with the screen. You know, all that nonsense. Blah, 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 blah. I'm not going to have time for that nonsense. Wait, seller? I don't know what you're talking about. What do you mean by seller? Seller says keep it. He already refunded me. I don't mean by seller. Look at this. I've talked, like I said, I've talked to customers. They usually, if they have a problem, I just send them out free paint to fix the problem. They send me pictures. I get a chance to look over the pictures and see what happens. And I can tell you something. This is the second time today, and I can't express this enough. People, please, 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 please get this straight. Understand this, please. I have done paint on fabric demonstrations. You've seen me do it before. One of the things I say in my demonstration when painting fabric that you must prime the surface first. Because when you're dealing with a very thick fabric, now keep in mind if you're doing a everyday blackout cloth, you don't have to prime that. You can just roll right over that. But if you're doing something that has a very thick kind of material to it, like the outdoor projection screens, because if you take that blackout cloth and you stick it outside, it will rip. Those screens are designed to be a little bit more thick and a little more heavier. So I explain to people that when you're painting a screen of that caliber, you have to prime it first. Because the screen is going to soak in more paint on one side and less on the other and here and there, and you could end up with a blotchy surface. So I tell people, prime the surface first. Let the screen absorb in as much paint as it possibly can. And then once you have a nice foundation, go over it with our technology. That's why I did that demonstration when I was painting the outdoor screen. I showed the screen first, I primed it, let it dry, painted over top of it, did the demonstration outside. But I still have customers that are basically doing their screens without priming them first. I got into a discussion with one customer. Like I said, everything got worked out. So I'm going to help them. I'm helping them. Actually, today I'm going to be sending them links where I got my screen from to help them out. But, you know, you have to prime that surface first. And, you know, some people say, well, you never did a video like that. Oh, yes, I did. Everybody knows if I'm going to say something and I do a video of it. So I did a video of me actually doing step by step by step, designing an outdoor driveway projection screen. And one of the things I tell people, prime the surface first because it's going to absorb in paint. Some sides may absorb in less, some might absorb in more. And what's going to happen at the end, you're going to have an uneven, blotchy surface. Always, when you're dealing with that. Now, if you're dealing with plexiglass or anything else, no, you don't have to prime it. The only time you would have to prime a screen involving a screen paint, unless it's a spray-on application for the front and rear, that black silver. That does require you to prime the surface. But since now we'll have a roll-on, that's going to be obsolete. It's going to be taken out altogether. And like I said, just don't go in and buy the paint. Read the specifications. Man, I wouldn't even try to repair that thing. I'll tell you the truth. You're talking about, sometimes you have to understand, when it comes to buying a projector, especially a high model venue projector, even though you may get the model of the projector for cheap, the parts can still cost you an arm and a leg. That's like going out and spending and buying the money for a vintage, you buy an old vintage Jaguar. A friend of mine did, bought an old vintage Jaguar, paid $13,000 for this car, and found out the car had a lot of problems on it. He should have bought a mechanic with him to look over the car first before purchasing, and found out because this was an imported car and the parts cost more money, the labor cost more money, that they were going to charge him $400 just to be able to, they had to take apart the car to get to the brakes, and it was going to cost them $400. So with that being said, sometimes the projector may be for a cheap price due to the fact that the person who's selling it knows that the parts are going to cost you more money. If I went out and bought a barcode projector, which I was trying to get, somebody had one on there for $250. I'm like, well, that's way too low for this projector. And I wanted to go check the lamps on it because usually barcode projectors just for parts only would cost you $400 or $500 for parts only, $400 or $500, because it's cheaper to sell it off as scraps than to go in and try to buy the parts because they would cost you more money. But I tried to go in and get a lamp for this projector, and they were talking about $500 was the cheapest I could get a lamp. So sometimes it's best just to count your losses and just put it up on eBay for parts and repairs, because that's where they end up at. Because The parts are just too expensive. Even if the projector was, they discontinued the projector back in 2012. Those parts are still expensive for that particular model. You know, people go through it all the time who buy imported cars. They buy an old imported car, you know, they get it for a good price. They go in, they go check and find out how much the parts cost for it, and they get a sticker shock. Like, what? Like, what's the car? Oh, yeah, but just because the car's old doesn't mean the parts are going to cost you any less. So you're going to pay the same price for the parts. So that's why I said no. And on top of that, when I was checking that projector, be very careful. When you look at some of these projectors, sometimes the merchant doesn't show you a close-up image of the lens, which you need to see. Because these lenses are interchangeable. You can pull them out if you want. And I've seen a couple of projectors that looked like the lens was actually in there when it really wasn't. Because you can see the individual screws in the back that were connected to basically the motherboard on where this lens was sitting. So you got to be careful about too, because the lens could cost you a couple grand too. So you can end up paying more for parts than what the projector's actually worth than what you paid for. So no, I would scrap and sell it for parts. Or basically just get your money back. Because that particular projector, the 505, at 150 bucks, even at $200, is a red flag. Those projectors go for, cheapest I've seen one for is about 300 bucks. The one I got in my it's a Chrissy. So that's a Chrissy projector. That's an LX 400. That's the one in there. That's a 720p XGA projector at 4,000 lumens. You can get those right now. You can get those. Those are all over eBay. Someone's selling one right now with the remote control, and it was around it's around $125, and it wants $40 for shipping. Now, keep in mind, it's trust me, it's about that much for $4 for shipping because these projectors aren't small; they're big. These are big projectors. I paid about 70 bucks for the shipping for the 505, and the 505 is huge. You know that right there. That's a big projector. A few of the Chrissy projectors I saw in there was going by freight. That's a big freaking projector. When you're paying $300 for that projector, it has to be massive. So yeah. But I love all of them. To tell you the truth, I bought the first one I bought was the LXWU 420. That was the 1080p. I bought that one for around 230 bucks. Fell in love with it. Decided to replace all my Sonys. I had Sony DPLs through the whole house. I had the FH36 and the FH30s. And then I went and bought this one over here, which I'm using right now, which is the Chrissy LW400, which came with a short throw lens, which I still don't understand how, but it did. Which is interesting. That's why I can use it in here. That one cost me about 120, 130 bucks. And then I bought another one for upstairs, which is the same one. It's the LW400. I paid about 160 for that one. And then I bought another one, which is a white version that's coming in, which is the LW400. I paid about $139 for that one. And then I got the big one, the 505 comes in today. That one I paid about $514 because they're a little bit more expensive. But like I said, if you see the 505 for $200, I wouldn't go near it. Unless that person doesn't know what they have, I wouldn't go near it. You know, those projectors, the cheapest one I seen on that projector was $351. And the chassis was cracked, and somebody still bought it. The one I got cheated on, I paid $460, I think $469. That was the first one I got cheated on. And PayPal got my money back for that, and I turned around and bought another one for another merchant that came with remote control. That one cost me $5 something. So as we're sitting here and our sun is coming up, we're in the evening hours, not evening hours, we're around, my time here is 8:33, so 8:33, we're still here. Screens, everything's functioning with no problem. As you can see, the sunlight cascading in. It's hitting the rug and everything. The screen is still producing an image with no problem at 18 feet sitting back, bedded in windows. Come over here real quick, take our walk around. You see all our screens are coming up. Let's go pull us up another video. I'm going to do, let me see. We'll let that run right there. I'm gonna go over and check. Oh yeah, I can run. I'm gonna go over and check our kitchen screen. This is the screen in the kitchen we have set up. Right there, so you can see that's on my ultra short throw projector. It sits around a bunch of windows. So we'll do this point of view. I think it's a cool point of view. That way you can get this screen and that screen at the same time. Now in the center of that screen, we have a white sheet of paper, so let me move that out of the way because that's distorting my picture. Why don't you say what you say, don't you say what you say? Man, I'm getting old. That's killing me. Ouch. Tripping over my cords. All right, got that white sheet of paper off the middle of the screen. So you can see both screens at the same time. Look how beautiful the water cascades up. That's freaking cool. Time to get the sloughs already. Come on, drippers. Window. You know what I'm gonna do? All right, since I got this, we got this transparent surface in here. Look at the black levels on that. What? I can say that I'm black. Good. I don't want people to sit there and go, "Oh, did he just say something?" No. Come on now. There we go. We had to reconnect for a minute. We're gonna take our transparent screen. We're gonna have some fun with this. This is the transparent technology we have right here. We're gonna take that and we're gonna take this in the window. We're gonna blast an image through it and we're gonna watch it on the other end outside. That is gonna be freaking cool. I just thought I just popped into my head, like, let's do that. Because keep in mind, like for people who basically want to use the front and rear technology, that invisible technology we make, and you don't want to paint your windows, all you have to do is just paint a piece of plexiglass, and they make a form of transparent Velcro that you can stick it right up in your window. So. Now see how this one's giving off the glare? Like I said, the more you apply to it, did I leave you guys in front of the camera? My bad. The more you apply to it, the less you block out. So let's go with, this one has 2 coats. And then you put 3 and 4 coats on it. But this is that rear projection technology. The silvers have this. So the silver spray on has rear projection. We're going to put this on the glass. Now, usually, when you're doing a rear projection that has a more of a lighter coat to it, it's more transparent than the black technology we make. We suggest you use that with ultra short throw projectors because they don't reflect a lot of lamp glare. Well, actually, no lamp glare whatsoever. I want to do that one other one. If I can find it.
Sizzling times back at Wawa. Your favorite varieties, 2 for $4. Gotta have a Wawa.
Gotta have a Wawa. guess I removed it. See, that's what I was telling you, that the white levels on the black technology are extremely good for a black screen. They're not going to be as high as a silver screen or white screen or gray screen. But like I said, it's not something that's going to disrupt your picture quality. That's going to be so dark that you can't see the image. Because like I said, that was the portrayal of what certain individuals were saying, that the image came out so dark that you couldn't see the image. It was just dirty. And as you can see, that was completely false. So as you're watching this live, you're seeing the image pull up beautiful skin tones. And not only these beautiful skin tones, but multiple shades of skin tones. Because you need a white light to pick up lighter, the pink and their eyes and all that. Like I said, it produces a beautiful, beautiful image. Deep reds. This is the part that burns them up, because they just can't get around the fact that this screen is producing such a high, beautiful, vivid color. It just bothers the daylights out of them. And keep in mind, gray screens are good, but like I said, the contrast screen has the best of both worlds. It produces that black level, and like I said, when it comes to being able to produce white light, the images are freaking amazing, especially for the technology that's that black. Now, keep in mind, when you have people that say, well, it's not as white as a gray screen, it's not as white, so on, so on. Well, look at it this way. People have gray screens out there, and I developed a gray screen. A gray screen cannot produce a white level as high as a white screen. So if you had somebody out there who was developing white screen, say they were building white screen technology, right? They could easily say, well, guess what? Your gray screen is not the same as my white screen. My white screen can produce beautiful, beautiful white levels, snows, and bright bunnies and bright white flowers, and you can't do the same thing. And you can do the same thing, because a white screen is the only screen that has the capability to pull a 100% white level, where black technology has the ability to pull a 100% contrast. But this is the problem you're going to have with the white screen. The white screen can pull the white levels. The problem is it can't pull the contrast. So if you have a white screen, you're not trying this, because that's virtually impossible. If you have a white screen that can produce a dark enough contrast to be able to match a dark screen, like a black slate screen, then you're talking about some very serious technology there. All right. Now, if you have a gray screen that can produce a high enough contrast level to pretty much be able to produce a darker black level than other gray screens, including brighter colors and so forth, which we already did with the silver technology already versus other high-end gray screens, then you got a pretty incredible screen there. The black screen has the ability to produce 100% contrast, but the white levels are so high on the technology that it can blend into screens twice their shade lighter than that technology. But not only that, it can produce in beautiful, more natural colors, and like I said, 100% contrast. So that's why it's considered to be the flagship of any screen paint we've ever developed. It is the best. So when people sit there and say, well, my gray screen produces higher white levels, maybe so, but you can't produce a contrast if your life depended on the next to black technology. And that's where basically mainly all movies, video games, and any form of video application falls into black contrast. If it wasn't important, they wouldn't bother sticking it on your projector. You wouldn't be talking about a 20,000 to 1, 10,000 to 1. It wouldn't be important. And OLED would have never came in and developed a black screen or a black monitor or a black LCD if they felt that the best way to go was to just stick to that traditional dark gray, which was the Sony Vegas. So, like I said, it is what it is. We could design all forms of technology all day long. Nothing will match the black. It's just a more superior screen. Do one more. Oh, Doritos. I got Doritos in the house right now. Not those. Now, I'm going to be quiet, let you watch this, and you can take it all in. short trip to insanity.
We have something to do.
Oopsie! Whee! All right, there we go. Gotta keep this neutral. Okay, over here doing a little tinkering over here on something. I'll show you something real quick. So we're going to come out of this. I'm going to put in a fireplace. Come out of that for a minute. A burning fireplace is the reason why I'm doing this. Just give me a minute. So I'm still working on the other project. I got multiple projects going on, and just working on a few things here and there. Let me see if I got the right one. Oh man, I lost my charge. Hold on for a minute. Wanted to show you this. At the last minute, my cell phone, not on this cell phone, but my other cell phone dies on me at the last minute. So I guess I'll have to come in and show you this once it's charged back up again. And then I can have the, hold on for a minute. All right, so I'm gonna have to come back in because I got to do some projector research. Like I said, there's a screen in the back of the fireplace. Way in the back, there's an actual screen back there. And if you never saw this demonstration, this is where I was able to project fire from my Chromecast into the back of my fireplace, because as much as I like the fireplace, and it is working, the soot and the ash wreaks havoc on my respiratory issues, and I can't have it. And I do love the fireplace. So I thought it would be nice to project some flames in the background, and then that way I could have that, you know, that theme of the fireplace. This place is radiated heated anyway, so it's already hot. And then if you ever ran a projector in your room, you know how much heat a projector generates? It's a lot of freaking heat. So I'm not worried about that. That's why in the gaming room upstairs, I installed an air conditioner up there, because that room's going to run 3 projectors in there. It is going to be cooking in there. So my neighbors are going to think I'm even. Well, actually, yeah, yesterday it was funny. They were watching me install an air conditioner in the middle of September outside my window. So that's something else that's pretty much got them talking, like, why in the world is this guy installing an air conditioner and upstairs in the middle of September? And what they don't understand is when you run one projector is hot enough, but 3 of them in one room, whew, man, it heats the room up really quick. So I don't have any form of temperature control up there in the gaming room. So I'm going to have to, sorry about that. I'm going to have to basically run an air conditioner up there and keep from cooking. So as you can see, the screen is still going strong. We are at, our time is 9 o'clock. So we're at 9 o'clock right now. At 9 o'clock, I'm going to go over here and show you the time. There's the screen in the background back there. So no, the brick is not coated because I didn't want to coat the brick because, like I said, you know, I don't know how that chemical is going to react when you set it on fire. So back there, because keep in mind, when I move from here, somebody else is going to get this house after I buy it, and they may want to burn the fireplace. Burn the fireplace if I coat the brick. So, you know, I have to somehow bring somebody to come here and power wash it or do something to get it off of it. So it'd be nice. I just put a bath mat. I have a bath mat upstairs, and I just basically just coated that with the technology, a bamboo bath mat, and just tucked it away back in the behind those fire logs over there, so you can see how that's going to work at night. So at nighttime, this place is pretty cool because I have all these lights lit up, whatever. I have all the lights going. I got the whole starlight scenery on the ceiling, and there I got the just abstract art and everything. So it's pretty cool in here at night. And I thought I like to have that fireplace, the hologram of the fireplace burning. You know, that would be pretty cool to watch. Let me see how much juice I can get off my phone, if I can just get a couple of minutes off of it, so I can basically go from there. You know, instead of having a bunch of laptops and computers all through the house, what I do is I go on eBay and I buy a bunch of old phones, like just basically, you know, phones that cost me like 50 or 60 bucks or $40, you know what I mean? And I take those phones and bring them here because I don't need a signal. I just run everything through my Wi-Fi. So all these, some of my phones here run off Wi-Fi signals. And then I link my Chromecast up to them. Because instead of me carrying around this laptop or whatever, disconnecting, I just put one of the phones. Each projector has a phone connected to it. So that way I can just go over to that projector and put in that code and whatever and go from there. Whoops, that's a better way of doing it for me. Let's go buy a whole bunch of old cheap phones and run them off Wi-Fi only. So right now I'm trying to see if I can get in there and pull that application up. Just show you a little bit of it, what it looks like. Because it's kind of hard to, unless you saw the video, it's kind of hard to tell you what it looks like. You have to see it. That's when I was explaining how I was going to build an arcade system upstairs. It's kind of hard to tell you about it, to kind of like show you. Let's see. Interesting. We were at 24% when we went down. So that's odd. All right, whatever. Technology has its attitudes. I think this one would have to be backyard. It is backyard. That's backyard. There you go. Now the wood is coated with the invisible technology because I thought it would basically produce much better. Take individual piece of wood out and basically coat it with the invisible technology, which is that clear technology, so I can still see the wood grain and everything. If I did it all black, it'd be kind of weird looking at black pieces of wood in there. So, and then on the way in the back, there is a screen right in there, bamboo screen in there that I built, made from a bath mat. And I thought it'd be kind of cool because at night, I would like to see my fireplace burning. So instead of me having the projector sitting here in the middle of the floor, which I have right now, what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to get a steel rod and connect it inside the shaft of the fireplace, and then get get one of those Pico projectors, battery powered Pico projector. That's about 8 hours. I had a few of them back in the day, and I'm just going to run that video off a thumb drive and load it from there. That way there's no wires or nothing at all, period. And I'm going to basically, when I build the bracket system, it's going to connect from one section to the next. Then there's going to be another piece that connects around that locks, and that's going to attach onto I'm using heavy Velcro because these projectors are light. That's going to attach onto the top of the projector, and that'll allow me to shift it back and forth. I can point it downward, and I can get the same image without having a projector sitting in the middle of the floor, and get that little burning effect from there. But I do like it. There's other things you could do with the technology besides, painting your own screens with it, Some people use it for abstract art. This is when I take my lights out. This is how bright it is in here. It's not too dark in here. I can't burn lights 24/7 because, like I said, at the end of the day, I have electric bill to pay. But it's nice to know that I can come in here if I want and turn my lights on and read a book or whatever I want to do, and not worry about not being able to see the pages or the wording due to the fact that I'm afraid my screen's going to wash out on me. Interesting. How do we have didn't I cut off the Chromecast? What is that running through? Oh, we got a system freak out. Look at this. We got a burning fireplace activated here. Then we got it activated here. All right, that's interesting to try to figure out how that one went down. Now I gotta just adjust my keystone. Because on this projector, I didn't set I think the automatic keystone is still on. Yep, it's still on. Tap. One more tap. Really? What's going on here? There we go. There we go. So, fireplace is active on 2 different screens. I don't know how that's possible, but it did activate. Look at that. So it's activated here. Signal must have got stuck. Looks like my ceiling's on fire, doesn't it? Fire! Dun, 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 dun. There we are. That's coming from the projector there. So I can have my burning fireplace for Christmas. And I don't have to worry about any of the soot. Because, man, that soot gets up me and I breathe that in. Oh, man, it messed my whole day up. It messed my whole day up. I realized that last year when I was burning the fireplace and I went to go shift the logs around and clean out the fireplace, the next day I was really messed up. Like all day I was down for the whole day. I was like, yep, I can't even enjoy the fireplace. I burned it a few times, but that's it. That's the end of it. So I still want to use it. I like how it looks and all, and I don't need the heat. I just basically like the look of it all. So this is the safest way I can do it without basically causing any more damage to myself. I can set my ceiling on fire. Yeah, I like that. And like I say, here we are still, and we're at, what time are we at right now? Let's see, we're probably around 9:12 or 9:12. And yeah, 12 in the morning. And our image is still growing strong. Got a burning fireplace. Can't even have hot cocoa anywhere either. Nope, no more hot cocoa. If I drink it plain, it can't have no milk in it. And milk basically triggers me off pretty bad. I'm gonna get my pillow behind me. That's what I want. A nice pillow behind me. And these are my slippers I like to use in the house, my exposable slippers. And there you go. So that's the difference between my technology and anybody else's. I know Crow Boys, you want to put me in the same category as Mr. Crow, but you can't. I'm not in the same category. My technology is much, much different. As you can see, I'm sitting here. None of my windows are blocked out. Got plenty of light pushing through. See that beautiful image of the fish across the screen. Nothing's washed out on the image. Just it is what it is. That's what makes my technology different from his. And, you know, I can understand you want to have your little arguments and say we're all the same, but no. We're not the same, my friend. We are not the same. Far from it. That's why I can sit up here at 9:30 in the morning and look at my screen instead of having all the windows blocked out. I guarantee it's just not the amount of light that I'm showing you right now in this environment is not in his home right now. This comes from hard work and a ton of research to do this. It's not something you do overnight. It takes time, a lot of work, a lot of dedication, and a lot of trust in God. All right, I'm out of here, people. I'm tired. I still got orders to push through. And the Christie 505, cross your fingers, is coming in today because for some reason I've just had some problems getting my hands on that projector. So hopefully we get that in here and it all works out well. Sorry about that. I'm tired. So it's 6 o'clock this time. And I'm just going to sit back here and just relax for just a little bit. I got to throw my back massager on for my back. My back is killing me right now. And get my hot cup of tea for the day. And then after that, get ready to start. I got the carriers coming down on Thursday and take out the orders. And I just need my base supply. That's basically about it. I already got the ink for the printer upstairs. So that's all done. Why do I have a fish? Candy fish in the middle. Oh, I was eating candy fish yesterday. I love that, man. I freaking love that. I've definitely got to figure out what projector I'm going to use for that. So I can't find a projector. I'm going to get a Peak by Pico projector because those are pretty good. And again, lights out because I got my bills I got to pay people. There's my screen right in here. Now, this right here is the projector right here. You're curious. That's a Christie, blah, 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 LX. There's the full screen mode. People think it's all the projector doing all the work. Like, nope. Not the projector doing the work. The technology. Nice dark, beautiful blues. Mr. Turtle. I've always wanted a huge portrait mode screen. Oops, that's the wrong one. Get my shifts mixed up from time to time. There we go. So bottom line is, I didn't want to spend a lot of money for. I didn't want to spend a lot of money for a portrait mode projector. Portrait projectors that do portrait mode are not cheap. Them suckers are crazy, crazy expensive. So that's what I wanted. I was trying to get my hands on one. Apparently, the Sony VPL31 has a portrait mode on it, but they're like $800. I was like, oh man, I'm not paying that kind of money for a projector right now. So I went in and changed the graphic card on this PC over here, and basically now allows me to go into my my display settings. And keep in mind, if I'm running Windows 7, Windows 7 it's kind of hard to get into to change it. This has 10, so no, the other one. So my phone was ringing. The other one needed the replacement. But I went into my display settings, put it in portrait mode now. Before I did portrait mode, I basically spent a week on portrait mode just using that monitor right there tilted up to see if I could basically become comfortable with it before I invested into this project. And I liked it. I got used to navigating through the pages. Things were a little different in portrait mode, but I liked it better, especially for reading documents. So I built this screen right here, put it up against the wall. And in order to get the portrait mode for the screen to slant this way, your projector has to slant the same way as the screen. That's why my projector is standing this way. Now the Christie projectors, the reason why I like these projectors is because most projectors have this rounded edge right here, which make it virtually impossible to stand it up because it would just roll over. And on top of that, with the Christies, the heat exhaust system comes from the front. It's not from the side. Most projectors have it from the side. That's why if you look at the projector I had downstairs in the theater room, instead of me having, most people think if I'm sitting down, I got heat blowing on me. No, the heat blows up through the front of a Christie, not through the side. And the filters are on this side, but on the bottom part right here, there's nothing. It's just plastic and a handle. That's it. So that makes it easier for me to set the projector on the side without basically covering any of the ports or basically messing up the filter. And the heat doesn't blow out through the back either. And basically with a little keystone and corner correction, you can do the portrait mode. Make it as big as you want. So I thought I would go with 79 inches. Can't figure out where my measuring tape is at. So what we're gonna do is probably next week, there's the other screen already painted. Probably next week we are going to convert. I need to turn this off real quick. This projector doesn't need to run all day. And my mouse, I gotta get a new mouse. I hate this mouse. This mouse has a bad habit of turning itself off. I was probably to save battery, but still, gotta keep coming in here and changing it, turning it on, coming out of this menu right here. Now this computer right here, we're still waiting for a graphic card to come in for this one because this is using integrated video. So this one has an i5 processor, 500 gigs of hard drive, 4 gigs of RAM, This is pretty good if I'm just using this for basic arcade games like shoot 'em up, like shooter games like Dig and Dug, Pac-Man, stuff like that. You know, retro games. That's what it's designed for. So I got to get a graphic card for this one because the one in the other room runs because the graphic card on that one's around 256. This one's only going to be 64. That's all it's required. You know what I mean? So I'm just going to use this one right here on this screen right here for the arcade screen. We're going to run the Xbox through here, the original one. And maybe I think I'm going to run my GameCube because I got Luigi's Mansion. I would love to be able to play that again. And the Dreamcast. We're going to run the Dreamcast on this too. And so this is going to be removed from there. This right here is going to be the Chrissy LW400 that's coming in. This is going to be for the Xbox new system. And this is one's going to be for the 505. This is going to be for the PS5. And that's the screen for the PS5 right there once I get it mounted. So right now what I'm waiting for is my driver to come in and get me, just go to Lowe's. I got to scrape off a little sample of this so he can make me about a gallon of it. I need to paint this right here, and I need to do some touch-ups in the house where I've actually marked the walls a bit. But paint over this screen right here, then I can run the LED lights through. LED lights to the back of the screen are done. And then all I have to do is basically just run the LED lights from here. I think I have one of the conjunction boxes. Yeah, this one right here, this power cable right here, there's a piece sticking out from there that allows me to run more LED lights. So I'm gonna run them around the front, the brim, because once I lift this up, I'm putting speakers on the bottom of this. Run this around here, and this will trace out around the floor. I'm gonna have a trace out around the floor of chasers going around the arcade machine, back here, and back here, and then we'll stop there and run it straight up. And then we're gonna cross back over again over there and bring it down so it connects to the window and around the window like a circuit. I want it like a circuit board in here. And I think I might be going too far on the LED lights, but then again, you can never have enough LED lights. So these are going to be swapped out, the Sonys. And if I had a way to ship these things, I would sell these things off. I don't use them anymore. So the Sony VPLs, don't use them no more. Everything in the house is being replaced by Christie projectors. And this light needs to be out. And a lot of people thought this was a closet. They literally thought this was a closet. It's actually the attic. But they thought it was a closet. You know what I would do? I would basically shave off this whole entire door, everything. I would make this an escape room right here, or a hidden room. That's what I would do. I would take all this off, because you would never believe there was an attic upstairs going through. Usually most attics, you got to pull down the ladder from the top. This is an action attic. I would take all this off and make this a regular wall. I would just put some really crazy wallpaper here and here or something to make it blend in and make something you can just tap and it would pop open. Yeah, because that would make a crazy freaking hidden room, man. Yeah, the nice staircases that go all the way up. Yeah, this would make a nice little crazy hidden room. And then what I would do is outside, I would probably put in some cover up the windows so you want me to see the windows. But I would also put in some kind of screening in there. So basically I can camouflage where I can allow light to pour in, but you can't basically see the windows from the outside. Like we're wearing the kind of mesh people wear when they wear camo wear, they wear ghillie suits. They have that mesh material where you can't see them, but they can see you. That's what I would have it designed. I would have it cut out and so mesh, like a kind of a blue mesh to blend in with aluminum siding. That would be pretty cool. Put plenty of sunlight lamps, or not sun lamps, skylights up on the roof would be kind of nice. But that's why I would have it. It'd be my own little escape area where I can get away from everybody that just drives me crazy. And turn it into a nice little library area up there with a burning fireplace, or fake burning fireplace, because I can't be around real fireplaces. That's what I would turn it into. I would make it like really, really, really antique, you know, like a really antique kind of like a little library area, you know what I mean? I could just go in there, a cozy fireplace. That's what I would do, separate from the whole house. Way to escape. Like I would pretty much have it where it was set in time, like somewhere around the 1800s, like something like that, that kind of decorated art like that, you know what I mean? That I can go and I can step into a completely different world, separate from the outside world. I think that would be nice. I told you my brain works on a weird level. Oh, lights, 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 bird, lights. Turn my lights out. Yeah, we got a little bit more to go. A little bit more to go here. And we're just about done. Almost done. Yeah, that gray screen is going to be converted to a black screen. It has to be. Oh, let me put these paint on in here because I'm going to need these for the gray screen when I convert it. The contrast level is very important. All right, I'm retired for the day. Not for the day. I still got more work to do. Just hope you enjoyed the video demonstration. I'd like to thank you all for your time. And I'm going to get out of here and finish printing up the rest of these orders and get everybody taken care of. Thank you all for your time. If you're interested in the screen paint, it's available on our friendship. Well, I'm tired. It's available on our website. I'm sorry, we cannot still ship overseas yet. Still waiting to get clearance from PayPal when they start allowing us to ship overseas. But until then, I have some customers that are basically using, if they have family or friends with or within the United States, they're having the product shipped there and then they're having it shipped back overseas or having them ship overseas. So like I said, sorry for the inconvenience, but we have to go by the rules and those are the rules now. All right, so with that being said, thank you all for your time. I have to go and God bless.